Welcome, everyone. Today, we will talk about leveling up your phishing simulations and security training with Microsoft's attack simulation training. Why are we talking about this topic? Security is always an important topic for us. This topic today is important, especially in light of the Verizon Data Breach Investigations Report in 2025, where the findings show 60% of cybersecurity breaches involve humans. And these breaches are done through credential abuse and social actions like phishing. So humans, our people, are the weakest link that can be the last line of defense. People think, oh, there's technology, software that screens our emails, and these can be bypassed by smart bad actors. So as our employees, our users, may be a weak link in our security culture if they are not educated, they can also be the best and last line of defense. All we need to do is educate them and equip them with the skills to know how to combat cyber threats. One additional thing is it's not just humans. Bots are in on it too. Artificial intelligence is now in play. Data shows that threat actors that use AI to power their cyber attacks have generated malicious emails double the number in the last couple of years. Who are we and why are we talking to you about this? My name is Ivy. I'm a change and adoption specialist with Change Champions Consulting. We are a technology adoption and organizational change management consultancy. We are cybersecurity awareness experts that we've become because over the years, we've been working with several organizations across the world and their IT security teams to set up security awareness programs to ensure that they have a safe and security conscious culture. We pride ourselves for building engaging programs that go past the remedial actions that most organizations take. We really look to transform the way organizations work. We help manage change better. What are our goals for today? My hope is that you can learn about this Microsoft tool that you may not know about called attack simulation training. We'll show you how to set up a phishing simulation campaign, demonstrate how to assign remediation training, and share a few best practices before we wrap up. What is attack simulation training? It is a tool within Microsoft's ecosystem that delivers realistic but harmless phishing emails to users. It also includes training that users can receive for both correct or incorrect actions they take on the simulated phishing emails that make it to their inbox. Some benefits include there being no additional cost to you if you already have your Microsoft 365 E5 license. So if you're using Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and you have your E5 license, you have attack simulation training. This is also available with the Microsoft Defender for Office 365 Plan 2 license, or you can even just sign up for a 90-day trial at the Microsoft 365 Defender Portal Trials Hub. Because it is built into the Microsoft stack, there is no extra technical setup that you would need to do, unlike if you have other non-Microsoft based security training tools. It works natively with Microsoft 365 and Azure AD. It has straightforward implementation, and as you will see in a few minutes, it's very easy to create a campaign, launch the simulation, and monitor the behaviors of our people. Attack simulation training allows our users to change their behavior or reinforce their correct behaviors. So what attack simulation training does is it reinforces real-world phishing detection through simulated practice. You know, within Outlook, there is a report phishing button that not many people use. So with attack simulation training, our users have the opportunity to click on that report button. So it becomes second nature to them whenever they receive suspicious messages. They'll just click on that and IT security will be informed and they can take care of these types of threats. We have training included in attack simulation training. It is mobile friendly and it is inclusive. It is available in multiple languages, the training and the simulations, and support is available in both English and French. There is an ability to customize some of the phishing templates, login and landing pages, and end user notifications, as we might see in our demo today. So before we dive in to the training tool itself, the attack simulation training tool, I'll show you the roadmap of what we're going to see. First, I'll give you an overview of what the tool looks like and the content library, which contains the repository of assets. Then afterwards, we will go ahead and plan a campaign. We'll launch a simulation, assign training, configure the launch details, send a test email, and submit to launch the simulation out to the users. Afterwards, we're going to see what the reports look like and how our users fared with this phishing campaign. So let me switch over to our attack simulation training tool. How to access this is through security.microsoft.com/attack simulator. You will find that on this homepage, there are a few menu items: overview, simulations, training, reports, automations, content library, and settings. You'll see recent simulations that have been created by your company, recommendations that Microsoft has, and some reports here that show who have not yet experienced simulations, people who have been assigned training and have or have not completed them, what the percentage of that is, and if there are any offenders. There's more detailed reports that are available, which we will discuss when we talk about the report section. One thing I do want to point out here is this behavior impact on compromise rate shows a difference between the actual and predicted compromise rate. When we set up our phishing simulation in just a few minutes, you will see that some of the phishing emails have a predicted compromise rate that is generated by the system. Next, let's take a look at the content library. Content library is as it describes. It is a repository of all the assets available within attack simulation training. The default is payloads. Payloads is what Microsoft calls the emails that people receive that attempt to simulate a phishing attempt within their inboxes. So let's take a look at one of these examples. Just hover over the email title and you'll see what the email looks like. A quarantine notification. It is tailored to the user. Hello, Ivy, or in my case, I'm using the Adele persona for Contaso Electronics. And it shows that there are a few emails that have been quarantined by the technology software of our company. So if you want to release this message, click the button. But we'll take a look at some things that may show why this is not a real email and it is a phishing email once we go through our phishing simulation. After payloads, if somebody clicks into a phishing link, they will receive a landing page, or they can receive a landing page. This is what it looks like. It just shows that, hey, there was something fishy about that message, and it caters to the personalized name, Adele. You were just phished by your security team. If this were a real attack, it would have put our organization and customers at risk. And there is an opportunity to customize this landing page. So we can turn this mistake, if you will, to a learning opportunity. And it shows the type of phishing message, and we'll talk about that more when we create our simulation. So you have 5 landing pages to choose from, or you can create and customize a few. I've created one, and it will show up in the tenant landing pages. And we'll take a look at another part of this content library. So if we do a credential harvesting topic, then there may be login pages that are available. So I've created one for booking.com. So if they click on a link, they will be directed to a booking.com sign-in page or login page where they have the chance to submit the credentials. The default login page is Microsoft. And so if your email is something other than Microsoft, you may need to change and customize those types of login pages to make it believable and consistent with the phishing email. You'll see it's available in various languages. And user notifications and training modules are the last 2 things I want to show you within Content Library before we launch our campaign. So what is a notification? It can be a simulation notification. You've been phished by your security team. It can be a default training assignment notification, meaning you've been assigned training because you clicked on this email and it has a button to go to training. There's also end user notification if they did something correct. Adele fans, thank you for reporting a phish. After we launch a simulation, I will switch to a user point of view so you can see the experience that your employees may have when they receive, click, and submit credentials because of the phishing email. Finally, the training modules. This library gives you a chance to review the various training content that is available within attack simulation training that you can choose to assign to your users. So you can go through it and preview what it looks like so you can see which one is appropriate for your campaign. Some are video and some are just text. So you have the chance to review this. It shows some information about what languages it's available in and what type of technique it's addressing, what type of phishing technique it's addressing. I'm excited. Let's get to creating a simulation. I'm excited to show you how easy it is to create one. So here you'll see all the list of phishing campaigns that have ever been created. And to create a new one, we're going to launch a simulation. Let's talk about phishing techniques or social engineering techniques. The default is credential harvest. This is also what we recommend as a best practice. Credential harvesting techniques for social engineering pretends to be a legitimate email from a source that you usually know, Microsoft, LinkedIn, Google, something that you may expect to receive in your work inboxes. It contains a link to a message that the user can click that asks them for an email and password. So that is credential harvesting. There are other types of social engineering tactics. It can be malware attachment. It can be a link in attachment, a link to a malware, or a drive-by URL. All of these types of techniques aim to do one thing, make you click on something you don't want to so that the bad actors can take over your computer or infect your computer with something malicious wherein they can breach your security and obtain confidential information, or even worse, financial information. So in this demo, we're going to do a credential harvest. You want to name the simulation. So let's do July 2025 phishing campaign. And I put a month because we recommend as a best practice to create simulation at least once a month. This will keep your employees on their toes, making sure they know how to spot phishing emails and remember to report it to IT security. After you name the simulation, you'll be brought to a page to select the payload and the login page. Because it is credential harvesting, we have a login page. So let's take a look at booking.com. It is summer. A lot of people are going vacation, so they may have some bookings that they are expecting emails from. So the predicted compromise rate for this verification of booking.com account is 14.92%. This is the email that they are going to be receiving. The email subject is verification of booking.com account. And we'll take a look at the login page here and see if it's booking.com. It's not. We can change the login page. That's one of the customizations. And you have a few to choose from. A non-branded login page. You can preview that. A LinkedIn or a GitHub login page. But Microsoft is the default one. So earlier, I created a booking.com login page. So it is consistent with the email, and our users may be duped into typing in. So we want to make sure our employees are very vigilant with the type of emails they use and interact with. So now it's set to booking.com. We'll save it. So payload and login page are all set. We're going to close out on that. And we'll move on to targeting our users. You can choose to include all your users in your organization. Because attack simulation training is part of Microsoft, you will have access to all of the email addresses within your organization. But if you look at this, there are conference rooms that really doesn't make sense for me to test. Those are just email addresses and they're not actual people. So I would like to include only specific users and groups. In this case, I would like to use the Contasso team user group. So I will add that user. And I also want to make sure that I'm included, and my persona is Adele Vance. And I add Adele. So now we have 2 recipients, a user group and 1 user. I do not want to exclude anyone, but this is another way that you can manage your campaign. If you want to include all users and just exclude the conference rooms, that's another way to handle it. We've selected the payload, the login page, chosen who we're going to be sending the emails to. Now we want to understand what training we want to assign our users. Microsoft can assign training for you, or you can select it yourself. We usually select our training courses ourselves, so it is related to the phishing simulation. You have a choice if you want to do 7, 15, or 30 days. So 15 days is what I will choose for one of our clients. For example, their employees work in shifts. So it's not a normal Monday to Friday, 9 to 5 job. It is shifting. So some people work a week on and then a week off. So if you keep it to 7 days, simulation may end even before their email has been seen by the employee. So we'll do 15 days. This also works for like hospital settings where you may have people working 4 days on, 4 days, 3 days off, 10 days on, 5 days off. So various schedules. We'll take a look at what training assignment. Because we decided to choose our own trainings, you can add training and select from recommended or all trainings. If you look at all trainings, there's a few more items to choose from. And because in booking.com, we are looking at possibly identity theft if our users submit their email addresses and their passwords, I think it's appropriate to provide an identity theft training. So you can add more than one training, just keep choosing more. In our case, we just want, this is how it would look. We just want one training. You can choose to assign to all users, people who click on the phishing link, click the payload, or people who submitted credentials, supplied credentials, and they're called compromised. So as a best practice, we want to provide training to those who took action that was incorrect. Let them know, why is this something you don't want to interact with, except to report phishing, and what to do next time. So we'll click on next, and we'll see the fish landing page selection option. So I think I showed to you one of the landing pages, and this is how it looks like. And what we will do right now is include a logo of Change Champions to make it more familiar with our people. So if we look at it again, there's now Change Champions in the landing page that informs the users, oops, you clicked on the fish that looks like this. And we have assigned training, so please complete that now or add to your calendar. So that's what we choose. One other thing we want to point out is add payload indicators. Payload indicators just point out what is wrong with this email that indicates it is a phishing attempt. So it is a teachable moment for our users. The last notification we have a choice on is the end user notification. So we want to customize the end user notifications. It can be just the Microsoft default notifications, so you don't have to think about it. In this case, we want to assign the training. And then we want to send training reminders. You can do twice a week reminders before the due date or weekly reminders. Because we did set 15 days for them to complete the training, we want to remind them if they have not completed to do so. Positive reinforcement. I talked about this earlier during content library discussion. We want to deliver during the simulation if the user reports a phish. So that's something we want them to do. And we reinforce it by telling them, yeah, you did right. So we want to acknowledge that you did the right thing by reporting this phish. This payload that has a snapshot of the booking.com was something that we should be suspicious about, so we want to report it. We're nearing the end, so just configure the launch details and then we're almost ready to launch our campaign. You can choose to launch the simulation right in 2 clicks, or you can choose to schedule the simulation to be launched later. As a best practice, we schedule monthly and we select a launch date based on our calendar. So we have an overall view of when simulations are going to be launched, how long does it last, when does training begin, when is the training due date, and then do the cycle again for the next month. So for example, we want to set it up, let's say 2 days from now. And you can choose the time of day that you want to launch it, AM. You set the number of days to end the simulation. So when you end a simulation, attack simulation training stops collecting data. The users will not receive reinforcement or training information anymore. So the shortest is 2 days. The standard time we provide our clients is 7 days. But we do find most people, once they receive an email, take action within minutes. This is mainly to extend, again, the opportunity for those who may be off on the day that you sent the email to still review what they've received in their inboxes. So if it begins on the 17th, it'll end on the 24th for 7 days. If your user base works in various time zones, you can enable region-aware time zone delivery. So it will be sent to their inboxes at 10:15 their time. Okay. So because we want to wear the hat of the user, I'm going to launch the simulation as soon as I'm done. So we'll see it in Adele's email right after we finish this topic. Okay, it's important to send a test, so I will do that. So you can see, especially if you're doing things in a hurry, that you got the right email payload, the right users before you submit, especially if you're launching the simulation right away. If you make a mistake and you schedule it, you can always cancel. But once it's launched, it's launched. And that's it. We have launched our campaign to test our users for phishing email simulation using attack simulation training. We are done. It'll show up in your simulations page, July 2025. Give it a few minutes to run. So it's scheduled. It will be in progress after a few minutes. And we've had a couple of items completed. So before we talk about report, I will switch over to my mailbox and see what type of emails have been sent. So we just did this. I sent a sample to myself earlier, so we don't have to wait. This is an example of a test email. Yeah. So it only shows you the type of email that is there. Now, if we're looking at the July phishing campaign, so I'll take a look at something that I had sent earlier. Verify your booking account. Oh, it is a credential harvest. So I'm the user. Oh, okay, I have vacation scheduled. Let me log into my booking.com and put in the test. And when I sign in, uh-oh, here's the landing page that we notified. From Change Champions, you were phished. It's okay, let's learn from this. Look at this email and notice that the domain says passportal.org instead of booking.com, as you would expect. Copyright's at 2024, and it's not so realistic, especially with a domain name. So because I clicked and submitted credentials, we'll go to training. Remember, we also just assigned training to people who clicked on payload. So even if they don't type in their email addresses or usernames, they will still receive training. Well, once they click that link, they will be directed to the training page, and we can take a look at finishing the training. So we will not take the time to complete this right now. It takes a couple of minutes to complete that. I think what we can do is take a look at our report. So there are a few ways to check out the report. In simulations page, choose the name of the simulation that you want to see results for. So in this case, the July phishing campaign is what I created a little bit earlier. So there's a chance for the system to reflect the interaction that Adele Vance has done. You'll see in this report, the impact is no one was compromised and one person reported. If that person reported, they would have received the positive reinforcement message that we set up. So I'll show that to you in the mail. So yeah, we did this. We clicked on booking information. Even though we got duped, we can still report it. Reporting phishing scams help keep your and other people's personal information safer. So when we report it, it will go away. So we don't even have to delete it. It will do that. When you click on the report button up here, or do the drop down for reporting phishing or junk, that is fine. And this is the email that shows positive reinforcement. Thank you for reporting a phish. You reported a booking.com account as a suspicious email, and we want to recognize that that's a behavior we want you to continue. Okay, let's get back to attack simulation report. So that's what the positive reinforcement count is. And we can take a look at all these other numbers. Nobody clicked a message, nobody supplied credentials, so that's really good. The email was delivered to 18 email addresses. One person deleted the message, nobody replied, nobody forwarded. One of the users was out of office. And if you want to know who it is, just click to users and you'll see the details. So Adele Vance reported. Let's take a look at Isaiah was out of office. We may have received an out of office setting, and everyone was successfully delivered. There's no failed deliveries. And in case you schedule several types of phishing campaigns, this is a details page where you can preview what payload and login did I use. So you can be reminded which one it was. You can see how many users, when it was launched, and when it's going to end. So let's take a look at another one. So you can see what it looks like if somebody was compromised. So this is the booking.com phish that was compromised. So you'll see in users, Adele submitted credentials. So it was compromised. And the training is in status. We didn't complete the training yet. So we opened it, but we didn't finish it. And we'll take a look at Adele clicking the message. She supplied credentials, and that's the same as the compromised user. She read the message and so on. And it shows here how many people have completed. So no one has completed out of one person who was assigned training, and that was Adele. So let me take a look at our PowerPoint deck. We've reviewed the training reports, we've created the simulation, and now let's review what the best practices are. As I was showing you how to create a simulation, I was mentioning which are the best practices that we've learned from running these programs day in and day out for our clients and for ourselves. It's very important to enlist executive sponsors. So someone who within the organization who can drive the program to keep the organization cyber secure. It would be a best practice to tie their metrics, their KPIs to phishing metrics. So if clicks have reduced, if reporting of phishing emails have improved, those can be items that you can include in executive sponsors' performance reviews. This encourages leaders to be accountable and have a shared responsibility. We mentioned we want to conduct monthly simulations. This way, frequent exposure can help keep being safe with our email behaviors top of mind with our personnel. This can reduce the risk of any breaches that cyber actors are wanting to do. We want to engage employees in the process. So remember, we have trainings, we have positive reinforcement notifications. So we're engaging the employees in the type of cybersecurity program that we're building. At the start of your program, if you don't have any, it would be good to communicate the purpose of the simulation clearly. So it's not a waste of their time, but it just keeps them on their toes. And as with anyone learning a new skill, so we want to increase the complexity. Sometimes phishing emails are very obvious with typos. It's not just Nigerian princes asking for money anymore. It could be, as we saw earlier, your vacation reservation being spoofed to dupe you into providing information that can breach your data. So you can tailor campaigns to high-risk groups such as executives or people within finance or IT teams, which we've also done that with our clients, and it has helped them be more aware and more security conscious. One other idea here is to use a few of the emails that your technology has quarantined. It is a real phishing email in the real world, and use the content of that to customize your own payload. Now, this is a very good tool, attack simulation training is, but there are also some drawbacks to this hidden gem in our Microsoft E5 license list of software. Even though we're able to customize phishing simulation emails, there's very few options to tailor training content. So we can only choose the type of training that's already built in and connect that to our phishing campaign. The reporting is pretty basic. It lacks advanced metrics. And it lacks advanced metrics like industry benchmarking. There's also minimal gamification or interactive storytelling. There's less, the training modules are a little bit less engaging than others out there. It does the job, it informs and it educates. And there are not too many training modules available or phishing simulations. If, like our client, we've been running simulations every month for the last few years, you may get to the chance of having to repeat some phishing emails or training. Now, that's the end of our presentation. And I want to summarize to say attack simulation training may be the hidden gem that you haven't been using. So take advantage of what Microsoft can provide you. It's easy to use and it gets the job done. If you want to learn more about it, feel free to get in touch with us through our email, our LinkedIn, Twitter, or our website. And if you're looking for something with more engaging content or something different, we also can help you with those other options. We do have other webinars going on soon, so check out our LinkedIn page for a preview of yet another cybersecurity tool that you can include in your arsenal. Thank you for joining me, and I wish you a good rest of your day.